It's America's final act in Afghanistan, its longest war, and it involves getting many Americans, many Afghans loyal to America, to run a kind of gauntlet from the center of Kabul up to the main airport, where they hope to get flights to the United States, maybe elsewhere, and start a new life in safety. But for that, they must go through an extraordinary challenge.
What should be the easiest drive in Kabul is the reason the city is on edge. Head up the main airport road since Monday when I drove it, and you run into the Taliban. Then they were beating people back, perhaps to clear the civilian runway, crowded with desperate people then. By Wednesday, it had gotten worse when they were clearly stopping people from using their escape to America and accosting CNN. Taliban controlled that road, the entrance at the end of it, and the road to the left. Now many are trying to get in from the North Road, but that's led to devastating scenes at the North Gate. When I was there, the crush was dangerous, but the numbers have just grown further still. At night, stun grenades have been thrown when huge crowds still brave roaming Taliban in the dark in the hope the numbers at the gate have dropped. And in the day, it got nastier still. There are moments of hope, but they carry risk. When people see one success, they might want to try the same thing en masse. Later in the day, US troops had to repel the crowd. At other gates, what seemed to be British soldiers struggled to push back crowds, and huge queues have formed, blocking the streets. America has a numbers problem, getting enough people on, but also claiming huge progress, while not really knowing how many priority cases they're really seeking.
How many American citizens remain in Afghanistan?
I don't know.
What we do know is that 6,000 people are now at the airport. 6,000 people have been able to make it, have made it through the processing, and as of a couple hours ago, we had received only a small handful of reports otherwise from American citizens.
Inside, it is messy, but there are flights, often many of them, where lives are walked onto C-17s and changed forever when the doors close. The story of the airport, the last place America controls in Afghanistan, where the chaos outside the wire means the promises inside fall perilously short.
Now, the US talked of lofty goals of trying to get 5,000 to 9,000 people flown out every day, and they claimed that they have now on that airport 6,000 people processed and ready to get on aircraft. That would be extraordinary if that had indeed occurred. But they do also admit, as you heard there, that they don't know how many Americans are out there in Afghanistan hoping to get out. Extraordinary not to have that basic number there to quantify how big a task is ahead. And so for the days ahead, there are concerns that once again in Afghanistan, the reality of the ground, those terrifying scenes outside the airport even today, are simply not matched or recognised by the statements from American officials. Nick Payton-Walsh, CNN, Doha.